There were two things I found particularly useful today. One was absolutely validating some of the things that we do already. It was really good to listen to other organisations talking about the things that they do to support their job seekers, and for us to know we do that. That was really good. And the other thing I found really useful about today was particularly around searching for job opportunities. I found out about various tools on LinkedIn and various websites that I can pass on to my job seekers to assist them with searching for work.
I really enjoyed the learning event for Square Miles Jobs. I suppose the one thing I took away from it is it's about access, really, and that obviously it's great that we want to kind of get Londoners involved working in the city, but for me it's about access. So that is about how you get maybe young people or be long-term unemployed that have maybe got a broken work history, maybe not quite as academically strong as some of the other candidates they're up against, is how they actually get access to the jobs in the city. So that is actually, in my opinion, that's using work experience with something at the end, is that if they performed well on work experience, that they will have an interview kind of guaranteed. It might not be immediately, but there will be a commitment to that. And that is something I think that went down quite well when it was discussed with the group, and that is something that I would be really keen to work with the Square Mile on, really.
I thought today's event was absolutely brilliant. I really liked especially hearing the views of the employers who work in the city, who are pretty much saying it's open, we want to employ more people, whether young or old, more people in the city, and we want to open up access to city jobs. And what was also really good for me to hear today was from one of the smaller employers in the city who was saying we advertised the job and we only had 2 applications. So it's encouraging in that there are opportunities out there, and it's just for me to go back and advise my young people to just be persistent, be motivated, and go for the jobs that are out there, because you don't know, you could be one of those 2 people who apply for the job, and next thing you know you could have a job in the city. It's that easy apparently. So it's been a really good event. I'm pleased I came.
Okay, so one of the things that I thought was interesting that came out of the discussion today was the fact that some organisations really have a perception that opportunities really exist only in larger entities. Some of the larger corporates that are sitting around the table with me on the panel clearly have hundreds of opportunities that come in, year out. Those are highly competitive. So for the clients of the brokerages, there's going to be a real issue to try and get their clients into those opportunities, especially if they're competing against very well qualified individuals. What they ought to be looking at is perhaps looking at some of the small and medium-sized entities where there may not be as much competition, where the brand may not be so instantly recognisable, but the opportunity might be easier to gain. And that experience, to have that opportunity to then step up from there to go to a larger brand in the future, is perhaps something that their clients may value.
I think I found today very useful. I think the main reason for that is because of the networks that you generated with employers and also with other people, other organisations who are doing very similar things. I also think it was very good to reaffirm that all the work that we are doing is what we should be doing, and we should be doing more of it.
So my top 3 tips for job applications. Number 1, make sure you do your research. Talk to as many people as you can about the organisation, use any literature provided, use the websites, it's really important. Number 2, make sure you put a lot of time and effort into your application form, make sure you go through it, get someone to double check spelling and typos. And then number 3, I think what's really important for interview is that you make sure you have some questions that you can ask the interviewer about what it's like to work on the job, what they find really interesting, why they've stayed with the firm. That really gives you an extra insight that some of the literature can't do.
Top tips towards candidates or clients who want to try and find work in the city, what I would say are 3 basic things. 1, first, when you get a CV, tailor it towards the job. Put a covering letter and explain why you're interested in a particular post. 2, make sure that in your covering letter and your CV that you don't have any typos. If necessary, get somebody else to look through it and to help you actually formulate that covering letter and CV application. 3, once you get the job, make sure you turn up on time, make sure you're properly dressed, and make sure you do your homework so you've got an understanding of the organisation, the culture of the organisation, and the style that's appropriate in terms of how to present yourself and how to deliver and actually fit into the culture of that particular organisation.
The focus of today's event was really about helping the job brokerages and the other agencies that advise people, unemployed people, how to get work, on how to access opportunities within the city, be they advertised opportunities, paid opportunities, work experience opportunities, unpaid opportunities, hidden opportunities. What we wanted was to provide a learning event that would help the people who advise the unemployed people in the fringe boroughs to help them to access those opportunities and to share information and knowledge.